Hi everyone, I am Avbysharlyana Grysece from group LG24331C. Today, I will talk about the simple future tense. Did you notice my sentence just now? I said, I will talk about the simple future tense. That sentence already used simple future tense. We will learn more about it in a moment. Now, let's continue the presentation. First of all, let's look at the definition of the simple future tense. The simple future tense is a verb tense used to describe actions, events, or states that will happen in the future. In short, it tells us about things that happen after the present. Now, what is the significance of the simple future tense in daily life? We use it to talk about things that will happen in the future, to make predictions, to express plans or decisions, to discuss possibilities or consequences, and even to ask about future actions. Basically, it helps us talk clearly about anything related to the future. There are two main simple future tense forms, which are will and going to. And also, the simple future tenses are used in three types of sentences, which are affirmative, negative, and interrogative. Let's start with will. For the affirmative form, we use will to describe something that will happen after the present. For example, I will take a shower later. This shows an action that will happen soon. For negative form, we add the negative word not to show something that will not happen. Like this one. I will not buy that book. And for interrogative form, we use will to ask questions about the future, such as, will you help me with this task? Now, let's look at the going to form. In affirmative form, we use going to for plans that have already been made before the conversation. For example, I'm going to Tokyo next year. In negative form, same as the will, we add not before the phrase going to show something that will not happen. For instance, they are not going to the cinema. Last, in interrogative form, we use going to ask if someone has planned something. For example, are you going to join the trip? That is it. Now, let's see the important rule that we need to remember. The sentence structures for the three sentence types are different, so make sure you are doing it correctly. For affirmative sentence, the structure is subject plus will or going to plus base verb plus object. For negative sentence, the structure is subject plus will not or not going to plus base verb plus object. For interrogative sentence, for will, we put the word will in front of the sentence. So the structure is will plus subject plus base verb plus object, and don't forget the question mark at the end of the sentence. For going to, we put in auxiliary verb like am, is, and are in front of the sentence, followed by subject plus going to plus base verb plus object and the question mark. Remember the simple structures so that you can form any simple future tense correctly. Now, let's look at some important tips to avoid common mistakes in the simple future tense. First, never combine will and going to in the same sentence. For example, it will going to rain. That is incorrect. Instead, we say it will rain or it is going to rain. We only use one form at a time. Second, the main verb must always stay in the base form after will or going to. Don't change it or add endings like is or ed. Lastly, in questions, don't forget to invert the auxiliary verb and the subject. For example, instead of saying, "You will help me," we say, "Will you help me?" That's it. By remembering these tips, you can avoid common mistakes and make your sentence clear and correct. Now, let's have some fun fact about the simple future tense. First, did you know that English technically has no real future tense? Instead, we use auxiliary verbs like will and going to talk about the future. Second, the word will comes from Old English willen, which means to want or to wish. That's why when we use will, it's like expressing what we want or wish to happen. Lastly, going to originally came from the idea of moving toward doing something. That's why we use it to talk about action or plans that are about to happen. So, next time you use will or going to, you are actually using words with a very interesting history. Now, let's practice what we have learned with some exercises. We have 5 sentences to complete using the simple future tense. Before we look at the answer, let's solve one together. Take the first sentence. My brother, blank space, start college in September. We need to fill in the blank using the base verb start in the simple future tense. Since it's a statement about the future, we can use will or going to. So the answer is my brother will start college in September. Notice how we keep the main verb start in its base form. Now, for the rest of the exercises, try to fill in the blanks yourself. You may pause this video while you are doing it and then check the answers that will be revealed in the next slide. Here is the answer key for the previous exercises. You may check it on your own. Before I end my presentation, I would like to show my references. Here is it. That's all from me. Thank you.